So the COD Mobile test server is out for Season 2, and there are a lot of new things, including some new guns, some new maps, new perks, a lot of stuff we'll talk about later in the video, but most importantly, the movement for Season 2 has some big changes. So drop shotting is not the same, sliding is not the same. Now there are some things that they nerfed, but there's actually some workarounds, some almost like glitches or tricks that you can do to get around these nerfs, which we'll also talk about, which I think are really important because, I mean, if you're a player that likes moving around a lot like I do, movement is just very important to your playstyle. Without these tricks, you're gonna have to deal with the new nerfed movement, and it just really sucks. Anyways, let's talk about some of the new stuff that the update did bring into the game. Alright, so let's begin with these new guns. Now, the first new gun we have coming is the M4 Assault. I'm kidding, this thing's been here since Season 0. Okay, so actually, first new gun we have is the AS VAL. Now, the model here is not really the model of the AS VAL. This looks like a flamethrower or something. But I'll put up an image of what the AS VAL looks like so you can kind of get an idea. Now, this is actually a really strong assault rifle. We'll see how good it is in COD Mobile, but from what I remember, this gun is a really strong weapon. So we have the SKS. Now, the SKS is actually in PUBG Mobile, so if you've played PUBG Mobile, you know the SKS very well. Now, the SKS, it's not a sniper, that's why it's in the marksman category, so it's kind of like, think about it kind of like a, an XPR, but without a scope. It's similar to that if you've never played PUBG or you've never played with the SKS, because it's kind of like a hard-hitting, slow fire rate AR or a fast fire rate two-shot sniper. It might be a one-shot to the head, I would assume it would be, but that's going to be the SKS. Now, the second one here, you really don't get much information on it, but it does say the SPR 208, which I believe is a sniper, so, or well, I guess technically be a marksman rifle here in COD Mobile because it's in the marksman category, but yeah, there's no model for this thing at all. And there's not really a name at all. It just says SPR 208_1. So we can only assume it's the SPR. But yeah, I mean, by the looks of it, we have a lot of new guns coming to Call of Duty Mobile. Okay, so next there's actually this thing called the Bull Charge. Now, the Bull Charge is really cool because it basically just runs you forward. Like, you cannot stop moving forward, and it just hits everybody that's in your path. And I believe you can get up to a few kills with this thing before it runs out of duration. And it does actually protect you from the front, so they literally can't hit you. It's a really cool, like, kind of riot shield that also, like, kills people as you, like, run them down. It's definitely an interesting operator skill. Also, there are some new perks. So there is the Overlock perk, which basically makes it so your operator skills charge up faster. I don't know how useful this will be. I think it's probably going to be good if there's like a really broken operator that people are just like abusing. So I don't really like it in the sense that like if something gets really broken, people could just abuse it. So I don't know, maybe good, maybe bad. This one's really cool. This is a nice like replacement for the UAV if you don't want to use the UAVs in your score streaks. It basically gives you a mini, I guess, temporary UAV when you kill an enemy. So it just says, when killing an enemy, scan other enemies near the enemy's death location and display it on the minimap. So I think it's actually a really cool green perk. And finally, one of my favorites here is the skillful drop shot. Now, if you don't already know, drop shotting was kind of always a little bit wonky because if you were to scope in and then try dropping, you would unscope automatically, but this takes that away. So it just says you can ADS during lying down, but reduce the accuracy of ADS. So I guess you don't get perfect ADS accuracy during the drop shot motion. I don't know how much of a reduction it would be, but this is actually a really good perk considering that drop shotting, like you could still drop shot in previous seasons, but it just wasn't as good because you would have to like make sure that you drop first and then scope in during the drop. But this perk makes it so like no matter what, drop shotting is super easy. So I think drop shotting is going to be really popular after this perk comes out and players start using it. Alright, so this is Oasis. This is probably my favorite of the new maps. I really like the vibe this map puts out. So you can see it's kind of got like, you know, these domes, these cool ceilings, and just all this like art on the walls. The stairs look sick. There's actually some golden lions as well. I'll have to go find those. Yeah, here they are. These just look sick. Honestly, this map's got to be one of my favorites they've added. I'm gonna go explore a little bit. So we got some steps here, little window. Let's see, what else do we have? We also have some steps here. So there's little high ground spots here and there, some corridors, some buildings. There's this kind of like central area. Let's see what happens if we go over here. It's kind of like this round area towards the edge of the map. Ooh, I really like this little roundabout. This is cool. Honestly, this map's cool. I can't wait for them to add this. Alright, let's check out the next one, which is called Shoothouse. I have to re-shoot this guy. Okay. And this guy. And this guy. Dude, this isn't even the right sense. I think the test server has a little bit higher sense. Okay, let's go ahead and hop into the next map. Okay, I just hopped into an ongoing game in Shoothouse. So this map reminds me a little bit of like an outdoor version of Kill House. You guys probably know Kill House. Now, I actually did explore this map a little bit previously. You cannot get all the way up to this like top area, but you can actually go inside. Leave me alone, dude. I'm trying to get inside. Don't shoot at me. Okay, I believe to enter, there should be an entrance over here, right? Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so you get up here, and there's kind of like this little room area. So it kind of reminds me of Kill House with all the wood, you know? And then, let me see, where are we? I'm getting turned around. Okay. You go over here, more room, little couch. There's like these little windows. If you're actually like a sniper, this is perfect. This is perfect. You know, you get this nice view. There's no windows on this side, which is unfortunate though. And then there's a staircase here as well, so you can come out through here. Okay, so now let's talk about the most important and controversial topic of Season 2, which is the movement. They did a lot to the movement. Like, I'm seeing so many people complain about it on Twitter and stuff. Now, the reason I want to put so much emphasis on this is because I actually found a solution to the nerf that they gave to the movement, and I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over is the slide ADS nerf that they did. So this is actually, like, this is crazy. Basically, what they did was they made it so let me go to the rust first. They made it so when you slide an ADS, your gun takes up like a huge portion of your screen, and you can't see the center anymore. So this is what it looks like. So it looks pretty ugly, as you can see. It's like, where am I shooting? I mean, you could still kind of see where the center is, but it's a little bit unreliable, and the gun just takes up so much of the screen, and it just looks very just like, what is going on, right? And then for the sniper, some people might say it is the worst. So snipers are just like, what is this? And actually keep watching, because I found a fix for this, and I'm going to show you guys what the fix is. But just check out how horrible this is. Oops, I didn't slide. So you're like, what am I shooting? Like what? Right? You're just like so confused. Like, you have to wait for the crosshair to line up, and then you can see where the center is. And even, like, it seems like it just kind of lags a little bit or whatever. Like, you're just kind of like, what is going on? Now, there's a fix for this, and not only would I consider this a fix, but I would actually consider this to turn these nerfs into a buff for slide ADSing. And this is what I mean by that. So if you actually go to custom layout, and I have it hidden now, put your, like, running button in the middle of your screen, and then make it really small. So it's just kind of like, you know, it's like a crosshair or whatever, like your little reticle, right? And what you can actually do is use this to always tell you where to shoot, right? So basically when you're sliding and ADSing, you can't miss with that button in the center of the screen. And why is this a buff instead of just a fix? The reason it's a buff is because with this new slide ADS animation, especially for snipers, they make it so there's a point where the screen is absolutely blank, and all you can see really is just the little reticle that I put in the center of the screen. And the reason this is so good is because it gives you the clearest, oops, I missed, the clearest possible view for your shot, which is something you won't normally get when slide ADSing. Sometimes you even have to black scope, which is basically where you do a quick scope, but you end up shooting when the scope is like hitting a black point. It's kind of hard to explain, but this is actually a huge buff in my opinion for snipers at least, because look at this. I can always see where the center of the screen is, and keep in mind, this is not even the sniping sensitivity I use. This is actually too high. So the only reason I'm hitting mostly every shot is because I could see so clearly, because the buff, or because the nerf that they gave to slide ADSing made it so you can't see the center of the screen, but in turn they made it so you have a really clear view. But with this trick, you have such a clear view and you can see the center of the screen. So it's actually really nice. So that's a little trick to get around it. Now also, if you are using your SMG or AR of choice, you could use this trick, and it's actually it's pretty effective, because you know, you don't get that super clear view like you did with the sniper during the ADS sliding animation, but you at least get to see where the center of the screen is. So I think that's really the most important part, because you know your crosshair obviously goes away when you're doing the sliding animation, as you can see. Yeah, with this, you can always see the center of the screen. So it's almost like they never nerfed it in the first place. Now, the only little nerf, I guess, is the visibility. Like, you get less visibility. You can't see as much when you do this because your gun takes up a big portion of the screen when you slide, but it doesn't matter that much in my opinion. Okay, so for the next movement change they made, it was to drop shotting. Now, I'm demonstrating this in a practice versus AI game because it doesn't let you equip perks inside of a training lobby. So basically, this is without the new drop shotting perk that they gave. They basically made it so you can't drop shot anymore without the perk. So now you might be thinking, okay, let's see what the new drop shotting looks like, or if it even lets you drop shot, which you'll see it doesn't. So basically, you drop, scope, shoot, right? That's the sequence to drop shot. And as you guys can see, it doesn't drop shot correctly. It makes it so you have to scope in when you hit the floor, but usually you could start drop shotting as soon as you start the dropping animation. But it doesn't really work anymore. It's just not, it's not efficient. So now you might be thinking, okay, well, what if you scope in first, then drop, then shoot? So scope, drop, then shoot. It automatically unscopes you, right? So I didn't hit the unscope button, it automatically did it. So it's basically a nerf to the old drop shotting system. But the problem with the old drop shotting system was if you were to scope, then drop, then shoot, it would also automatically unscope you. So the old way to drop shot, you would have to drop, scope, then shoot. But now it doesn't let you do that either. So now you can't drop shot no matter what unless you get this new drop shotting perk. So this class does have it. It's got the rust as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just nade myself. Did I use my nade already? I guess I did. I don't know. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go get one of these bot AIs to kill me and then I'll show you. Dude, that is all the damage that you can do. Are you kidding? Here, actually, I have a better idea. Okay, I got killed by a bot. Got killed by bot 9. Perfect. Okay, so now we have the new drop shot perk class. So watch this. So I'm going to drop ADS then shoot. As you guys can see, that looked clean. The motion is what we would expect. Let's try again. Drop, ADS, shoot. That was clean. Now, let's try the other way where in the old, I guess before drop shotting was nerfed, you couldn't do this. You couldn't scope, then drop, then shoot. Now you actually can. So I don't know if I would consider this a buff or a nerf. I think it might be slightly leaning towards a nerf. But, I mean, what's really nice is if you are using this new drop shot perk, you can actually drop, scope, shoot, or you could scoop, or you could, God, this is like almost a tongue twister, or you could scope, drop, shoot. Either way, you will do a successful drop shot. So, I don't know. I think the movement in turn, they thought they buffed it, or excuse me, they thought they nerfed the movement, but I mean, there's a lot of workarounds or a lot of things that they kind of made better in a way that they didn't have before. Like, you know, when you're sniping, if you put this like little running button or whatever in the center of the screen, you could use any button, just make it really small and make sure it's a button that you're not actually going to use. You know, you put that in the middle of the screen and it is really, really efficient when you're sniping, and especially when you're slide sniping, because you get this nice clear view for a second and that just lets you see everything, and then you have the little reticle in the center and it's just really nice. And then of course for drop shotting, they made it so you can't drop shot without the perk, but if you do have the perks, you can drop shot in 2 different ways, which before you were only able to drop shot in 1. So, I don't know, let me know down in the comments, what are your guys' thoughts on the movement? I try to cover as much in depth as I could, and this is everything that I've pretty much, you know, discovered with movement. So, I don't know, in turn, I would say they actually buffed movement, but it's really, really hard for me to say because they really did nerf it, but with the workarounds, it's kind of like a buff, I don't know. But anyways, let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.